tuning in to the online broadcast network, AFTERBUZZ TV. Over 20 million weekly downloads from over 200 countries and your #1 source in after-show entertainment. AFTERBUZZ TV, the destination for TV superfans. Producing after shows for over 300 of your favorite TV shows. Interviewing celebrities and showrunners. And bringing you behind-the-scenes exclusives. All thanks to E! Entertainment's Maria Menounos, producer Kevin Undergaro, and internet leader Akamai. Now, let the buzz begin!
Oh, yeah.
What? Yeah.
Hey guys, welcome back.
I didn't know we were having a dance party.
Of course, we always have to start it with a dance party here on our after show for HBO's Hard Knocks. We're on episode 4, only one left, so sad. I'm Christina Kaplan. I'm joined by
Thaddeus Massey.
Hi, I'm Lyndsey Wegner.
Hey guys, I'm Stef Z.
So, Steph and myself. Well, first of all, let's just say Steph's got a great shirt.
She's representing over here.
You know, I'm a fan now, and I'm kind of I'm a gear whore, I guess is it safe to say it. I like gear. So I had to get a Falcons shirt.
Yes, for those of you that can't see, she has a fantastic Falcons t-shirt on.
Super soft. Retro brand.
Oh, I love
super
those.
Nice. Super soft.
Super soft.
So
Dirty
soft.
Clean.
Dirty Birds representing.
And I'll actually wear it again. Like, I was wearing it the other day, and I was like, I can't wait to get it.
You're going to wear it when you're watching the Falcons games this year.
Yes. Right after I take off my Jets jersey. Now I got
this
two.
is going on.
Well,
Yeah,
I
Atlanta
do,
Falcons,
because
we
this
make-
is
even
total
make super
tangent.
soft tees
But
for the
when I go
ladies.
watch a game, now I'll have this. I always bring multiple jerseys and multiple stuff, so if my team's doing bad, I have to change. So now I'll have this in the bag.
That's your superstition there?
It is.
All right.
Clearly, it doesn't work because my team's terrible.
Hey, it's a new year. You never know what's going to happen.
True.
Really quick, how are they doing in the playoffs? I mean, the preseason.
You know, we kind of look okay. I don't want to go, like, jinx it, but we kind of look okay. Smith, there was this great article I read about Geno Smith the other day, how he intellectually took it on to get so much smarter about the game, and he did all this reading, and like he like studied so much in the off season because he was like saying how between veteran quarterbacks and him, it's like the head game, and he has the run game, and like the athleticism is different nowadays for quarterbacks.
Yeah.
So there's this great article that I read just a couple days ago. So I'm fingers crossed. But
We shall see
I
how
kinda
they
think
do.
I
We'll
kind
keep
of
an
like him
eye
better
out.
than Vic, and they said that he's going to start game 1.
You kind of like him better than who?
Vic.
You heard it here, ladies and gentlemen.
Well, because it's like we need to build a quarterback for our franchise. Like,
Right.
you know what I mean? We need to build. So just having another veteran come in, it's just going to kill his confidence. You know what I
Right.
mean? Like, there's a
Yeah.
lot of things. So if he starts off and he does well and he wins ball games, I'd be happy.
We'll keep an
Okay,
eye on
anyway,
you. We'll
okay,
keep an eye
my
on
Jets
you.
tangent.
Keep an eye on you,
Total my
Jets.
fault.
We'll keep an eye out for the Jets.
Yes,
you know,
that's enough
we appreciate
Jets
your
talk.
loyalty.
All right,
there,
I
Steph.
appreciate
You
the
got
airtime.
your plug in there. We'll give you that. We'll give you that.
Okay.
So what I was gonna say earlier is that Steph and I were correct on our predictions that there were cuts made. The roster's now from 90 to 75. So good job, way to go. We made the right predictions.
Sweet.
Better
Well, we kind of
prediction.
knew it was going to happen.
Right,
Yeah,
exactly.
it was inevitable, but
Exactly.
it was a safe prediction.
But the episode
take it.
opens up on the coaches reacting to the terrible game against the Texans where they lost. Mainly Keith Armstrong, their special teams coach. He was very animated, to say
He's
the
known
least.
to have a temper, that's for sure.
Yes, so that was, I mean, that's what you like to see. The coach is getting upset. He's yelling, you know, they break down Devontae's missed block that went and caused the blocked punt. Which
Saying
was
it wasn't
returned.
cute.
Right, just replaying it, showing, ingraining into them that, look, you need to do what I tell you. That's what he kept saying. You need to do what I tell you to do. Do what I tell you to do. You're not, he said, you're not good enough to be an asshole or something like that. That was what he
the
said
quote, I think.
to Malachi Goodman. Yeah. So basically they're just breaking down how horrible the Falcons played in that game, which...
I mean, here's the thing. When it comes to special teams are kind of like free throws in basketball. That's an opportunity for you to actually put your team over the top when you have an opportunity to make that extra contribution to your team. Special teams, special teams coaches have a little extra factor. It's kind of like you have to have that extra crazy screw to be a special teams coach, because you have to have that extra special screw to be a special teams player. And only certain guys can even go down on that field. I mean, that is where like the old school, like back in the day when the armies used to line up across each other and they used to just walk in front of each other with the rifles and the musket, and they used to shoot at each other. Guys weren't like rolling on the ground. It was like old school. Special teams is like representative of that old school battle where guys just run into each other head on, and it's like taking it back to war. So you have to have that extra, that loose screw. And only the guys know what I'm talking about. You have like this extra thing, it factor as a player, to run down there, balls out, and just give up your body. You're not doing that on anything else. And that's why the discipline of going and blocking for somebody or running downfield, balls out, and making a tackle is on a whole nother level than just playing your position on offense or defense.
See, I agree, but I disagree with what you just said. And this is why. Yes, I think Coach Armstrong is awesome. And being an athlete all my life, I feel like that, tough love type coaching, I think it works.
Yes.
I think it definitely works. But I feel like many, many athletes have that screw loose. And again, maybe it's because I come from also like an action sports background.
Yeah.
Like you have to have a screw loose to be like, yo, I'm going to go over this jump and flip a freaking snowmobile. You know what I mean?
So that's everybody on special teams.
Right. Right. So it's like there's some people that do specific things, but what I do agree with is that there's certain people that can't do everything. Like certain people don't have that it factor to be special teams. But I think Coach Armstrong, I think I was like, I would want my coach to put fire in me like that if I was messing up. But
that's the opportunity for your team to actually potentially win the ball game for you, whether it's on a kickoff, whether it's on a kickoff return, whether it's on a punt or a punt return. That is actually an opportunity that you can steal. I mean, look at the impact Devin Hester has had.
Oh, love him.
Okay, that's just Deion Sanders. Look at the impact these guys have had, but they didn't do it by themselves. It's an effort by. I mean, it's such a discipline and choreographed discipline, and it's such a physical play. Every time it's a physical play. Every time that ball is snapped on special teams, that is something that is very, very, that's why I call it special teams. It's very, very special.
Right.
To make something happen at that point in time, that could actually be the difference in an L or a W for any team.
So let me ask you a question then, Thaddeus. Do you think that the reason why that they want rookies to start out on special teams before they have like a designated spot, a designated position, I should say, is because they have that mentality, most of them at least, that they're willing to go all out for it because they want to prove themselves, and that's why it's a good place to start on special teams?
Well, there's an element of paying your dues when it comes to special teams, but the guys that are the most talented or the marquee players, they're going to save them for their position. Right. You're not going to, they're not going to risk those guys on special teams to get hurt or injured or anything like that, because you do have to go balls out and sacrifice your body to the extreme, right? So you're going to have guys that just are really, really good at that. Like Hugh Douglas, I think, was like an all-pro special teams guy. Brendan Ayanbadejo, he's pro bowlers that just do special teams. Right. These guys go down, sacrifice their bodies, and make tackles. You don't really see them playing their respective positions on offense or their respective positions on defense, but they go down there and they give it their all. And they're actually pro bowlers. These guys do a great job, and they're rewarded accordingly to that. Now, back to what you're saying, I think that if you have a guy who just has that ability and is really, really good at that, so be it. Let's put him there and let him do his job. At the end of the day, that's really an opportunity for that player to make the roster. You're going to see a lot of young guys that are going to be, you're not going to see any real, you don't see a whole lot of veterans on special teams. Let's put it like that. They're either going to be cut or they've already proved themselves. Yeah, they proved themselves in their spot, and they're saving them for that spot. It's that simple.
Unless you're Devin Hester and you've proved yourself on special teams and you're so great that now you're actually coming in for repetitions and plays and you're catching the ball and you're catching these receptions and you're making touchdowns. I mean, I think that I love their idea for this four out wide receiver.
Yeah.
I love that. I think this is going to be really, really what's necessary for them to help them get further this year than they did last year and win more games. I mean, they lost Tony Gonzalez, so there's no real tight end there right now that's really, really vying for a position. So those tight end plays are going to go more to a wide receiver.
Yeah.
And Hester is going to be that wide receiver, and I think he's going to get the job done for the team, in addition to Roddy White, Julio Jones, Harry Douglas. You know, I really think that those top 4 guys are going to be reckoned with.
Well, when Hester was with the Bears, I don't think they really used him as much.
No.
I think he just used him on special teams. It's like, oh my gosh, he's so good on special teams, we'll just leave him there kind of thing. So I think he's actually getting an opportunity to like contribute more in Atlanta on offense than he did in Chicago.
I'm pretty sure last season he didn't have any receptions. He was only used for returns.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, sometimes guys get pigeonholed like that because they're so good at one thing.
And he's great at it.
Like, you know, he is great at it, but you saw what he was doing.
He's capable of more.
He's totally capable of more.
Yeah. I think it was really cute. I don't know if that's the right word, but we saw Douglas whip out his Bears Hester jersey.
Yeah. Coming from you saying cute, that's really funny.
I'm a softie. Don't worry about that. But I mean, whatever. But inside, I like that. Like, that was a very good team, showing some love to the Bears and where he came from.
And he was showing him respect too. He's like, you know, my man, like, this is awesome. You know, you were so good on the Bears, and we're so happy to have you here. I think that's kind of the message that he was sending.
You got somebody that can potentially eclipse Deion Sanders' record.
That's pretty major.
It's like, like, you have to. I'd be like, I would have brought his high school jersey and I'd be like, sign this. Like, the dude is talented. He's just really talented.
And I think a lot of people, I shouldn't generalize and say a lot of people, but I feel like special teams kind of sometimes gets overlooked as far as its importance. And the way that they broke it down in the beginning of this episode was showing us how important those special teams plays are, because like I said, Devontae Freeman missed that block, punt was blocked, and they returned it for a touchdown. You know, so that one play, it may not be
can set up.
Right, it may not be the big, you know, glamorous 59-yard touchdown, but it really makes a huge impact in the game. And Armstrong was just, you know, drilling it to these guys. Like, you need to do what I tell you to do. We're not going to win games if you guys go out there and just do whatever you want. And clearly, that's what happened against the Texans.
Yeah, and to what you were saying earlier, too, about the rookies on special teams and stuff, it made me think that maybe, I don't know if this is where you're trying to go, but something to the fact of putting the rookies out there is going to see their willingness.
Right, that's exactly.
I think that's what you were trying to say. Mm-hmm. Like, it's going to see their willingness to get out there, to give the extra effort, to see how coachable they are, because they don't come to the team. They weren't drafted or, you know, picked for special teams. They're like, all right, we're going to put you there. Let's see what you can do. Let's see if you listen to me. Let's see if you got the guts, or, you know what I mean? Like, whatever. But yeah, that's what I thought of when you said that earlier.
I mean, you got to also remember that these guys coming out of college, whatever college they came from or university they played for, they're probably the man or a star wherever they were from. Right. Okay, so you don't want them to carry that same swagger into the NFL and pamper them. You got to break them down like a Marine and build them back up and let them re-earn their position, just like they did when they're in college. And you come in as a freshman in college, you're not the man per se most of the time. Sometimes you are, but most of the time you're not. So let these guys come in, do some grunt work, and we'll still give you an opportunity to show your natural talent at your respective position.
I almost felt like that's why Cox was being so hard on Hagman, because he was just making him run. And he's like, dude, get your water, now run. And he just kind of stood there.
But he had a shitty game.
Yeah. He had a shitty game. Pardon me. Oops. He had a crappy game. And
it's football, we curse.
This is an HBO show, girl. You can let it go. Shit.
But he had a really, really, really bad game. And instead of standing there in practice, like, you got to go after it. You got to then prove why you need to be there. You're going to get cut.
But in the same sense, also, you see the coaches razzing and giving the most shit to the players that they think have the potential to do it, which I think is a little bit of foreshadowing. You know what I mean? Like, you don't see a lot of the people, like, later in the episode we'll get to who got cut, but a lot of the people that got cut, you don't see them getting screamed at.
No, and we hadn't heard about them.
Yeah, it's not really, I think it's a tough love, and the coach is more like, I can see that you can do this. I'm just going to try and push you to get there.
Right.
Was it Mike Nolan that
Yeah,
said?
their defensive coordinator said if the coach isn't talking to you, then you're likely out the door.
Yeah.
So obviously, all these guys that are getting, reamed, it's a good thing.
Right.
This means that the coaches believe in them, that they can do it, and that they can play better, and so they're, putting their attention and putting in time to work with them.
To the potential.
And this is a note to all the kids out there, anybody competing, male or female, in any high school, college, professional sport, but you should know it by now if you're already a pro. If the coach is not really paying attention to you, if you're doing whatever and you're not getting coached by the coach, he doesn't care much about you. He doesn't expect much from you, so you got to step your game up and make them take notice.
Yep.
Just so you know. That doesn't mean you're doing everything's cool. He didn't even say anything to me. No, that's not what that means. Because some players think that when they're young. They think, I didn't even get yelled at. No, he's not paying attention to you because he or she doesn't expect much out of you. It's the exact opposite. So if you're getting screamed at, yelled at, that means they expect the most out of you.
Yeah, I mean, that's such a touchy topic these days with the way that they coach and reward kids in school sports. It's like a whole nother show. The participation award. And I went to a gymnastics meet when I was in New York. I was visiting a friend, and they gave out till 27th place. Like, if your kid's getting 27th place, maybe they should try a different sport.
Honestly, just the fact that you just touched upon that, and the fact that you just touched upon that road now, I'm just saying that America is thoroughly. No, seriously. America is thoroughly becoming pussified, and it's
wussified. Is it better?
Sorry,
than that?
I'll say wussified.
Yeah, that's my word.
Because look how they're treated. I mean, the NFL is almost not like the NFL anymore. Just like how they're just protecting the players. I mean, if players are getting
fun league.
no fun league. If they're becoming bigger, stronger, and faster, yeah, the hits are going to be harder, and there's going to be certain repercussions behind this. If you have to take certain precautions because of that. Like if say, okay, well, this guy has 3 concussions and he has to retire early, so be it. But don't penalize and say, oh my gosh, that hit was too hard. Well, it was a standard hit. It wasn't helmet to helmet. And guys are getting penalized and fined for just like standard tackles now. It's just so ridiculous. It's like, what is going on? Why can't we just watch a real football game and just enjoy ourselves and drink a beer?
Let them play.
Let them play. Let the guys play how the sport was
that,
intended to be.
Right. It's like that in basketball too. Every little touch is a foul now.
Right.
You watch back in the day in the 80s.
Yes.
Crazy.
The Pistons.
It would be just
Pistons.
foul after foul after foul
Bill
if they
Laimbeer.
played the way they did now. And it's just, it's part of the evolution of the game. That's just what's going to happen because they're making the awareness is a lot higher now for injuries, especially concussions. And that's just how it's got to, they have to adapt to what's going on in terms of the injuries and the side effects, I guess you could say, that are.
I mean, the side effects are obvious. They've been studied, and there have been reports, and there's conclusive analysis and all this stuff when it comes to concussions. I mean, we know that concussions are dangerous. It's the jarring and shaking of your brain inside your skull. When you have guys that are 250 pounds running 4.5s now, they're faster than they've ever been before, and they're stronger than ever. Yeah, that's going to happen. So you have to know that this is going to be like part of the sport, but what are you going to do? Just like stop playing?
It's part of the risk. It's
Well,
part
they're
of
making
the
risk. They're also making a lot of money.
reward.
I was just gonna say
there's a lot of money. It's a business. So at the
Right.
same time, it's like, well, what do you do to protect the players? I mean, the players know what they're getting into when they
exactly.
that's like saying, well, I want to be famous, but every time somebody pops out from around
I
the
was
corner and
just
takes
gonna
a
say
picture
the
of
same
me.
thing. It's like if you're an actor,
This is
you're
my
gonna
girl.
you have no
Just
private life.
right.
If you're an athlete,
You
you,
already
might
know-
get hurt.
right.
It's
You
a
know what you're getting
double-edged
into.
sword. It's a
Yeah.
double-edged sword. You kind of can't really, both sides of it. There's arguments to both sides.
Yes.
And that's just, what's happening, I guess. But one player that everyone obviously noticed last year and notices that he's gone this year, Tony Gonzalez. Mike Smith made a nice little nod to
Tony.
him. Yeah, saying how Tony came in on his last game of the year last year and shared with the team his routine. And so they kind of transitioned from, okay, this is all the stuff that we did wrong in this loss. Now let me tell you about a good player that had a routine, and this is what we should mirror ourselves after him and create a routine, because getting from one game to the next, it takes a lot. And so then they go and they show the guys in the weight room, and Mike Smith saying, older guys, I want you to help the younger guys. And I think that is a really important thing when you're training, is to have a routine. Because if you're just going in there and doing whatever you want, you're not going to get the kind of results. You know what I mean? So I think it was a good, a nice reminder to these players that, look, you know, this guy, everyone I'm sure has great respect for Tony Gonzalez, and he was an amazing player. And he's there, he even said, he's like, he's going to have a yellow jacket or gold jacket in a couple of years. And so let's try
He definitely will.
Right. So let's try and, you know, create our routine like he had his routine, in hopes that we can, you know,
right, become great.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
I mean, so many players get caught up in their, you know, just coming to the meetings and doing what they're supposed to do, that if you create your own routine, obviously your own routine is not going to supersede you're going to your meetings and going to practice. You're doing what the rest of the team does. Creating your own routine obviously is outside of the bounds of whatever is, you know, within team, you know, groupings or team, what's required to be on the team. So you're taking that extra step, your own personal routine, to make yourself a better player. And hopefully everybody on your team has auspices of becoming great. And if they have that, instead of just being, oh, happy, I'm in the NFL, I'm making money, I can buy my mama a house.
Right, I'll do the bare minimum.
Right, then you actually can potentially win a Super Bowl and become great if everybody's aspiring to become great and they have their own routine. I think it was very important to have Tony Gonzalez back. Obviously, he played for them. He's going to be a Hall of Famer, and he was a great player. And he can, you know, he's not too far removed. He didn't play like 20 years ago.
Right.
If you're talking about someone that's going to take initiative, I mean, you have to look at like somebody like Prince Chembo, who had such an awesome game. I mean, he rotated starts for the first half and then started the second half.
Right.
I mean, he had impressive speed to the ball. So this is a good player that's doing exactly what Mike Smith is talking about, taking the initiative. He wants to be defensive captain. He's going to be in charge. He's going to be starting.
Yeah.
I guarantee he's going to be starting this year. That's awesome for a rookie guy to come in and be able to have that ability and that initiative and that drive to do it. And that's what they all need to have. They need to look at that and go, look at, he's succeeding for a reason.
Right. Well, they showed us he, you know, kind of went to Sean Weatherspoon for advice, and kind of, okay, as a rookie, I'm going to look to this guy. He's injured, but he has so much experience that I want to learn from him. And so obviously you saw that translated onto the field. He had an amazing game. So like we've been saying, that's what they're looking for. The Falcons want to get back to their 2012 form. That's what this offense, this whole team in general, that's what they're looking for.
Yeah.
And
they can do it.
Yeah,
I think so.
totally.
They can totally do it. We'll just see. We'll see if these guys can. I think the rookies, there's some rookies that can make some big contributions to the team. So we just have to kind of see if they step up to the plate.
Definitely.
Well, and they got some people healthy that weren't healthy last year.
That's true.
And seeing them
Lots
all
of
out
players
on the field
back.
together, they're looking good.
Yep. And then they show us the guys get to finally go home for a little bit after, 4 long weeks of being in training camp. They show them going home. And, of course, our buddy Croy and his beautiful wife.
Babies, 4 kids under the age of 3.
Yeah, craziness.
4 babies under the age of 3.
4 babies. They have twins. They have a 3-year-old and then I think a 2-year-old.
So that was like, and go.
They just knocked them all out.
Yeah.
That's how he tore his ACL.
But I think she had twins.
She has, she had twins. The last
I'm
set's.
like, wait a minute, that
No.
math doesn't
The last
work.
set's twins.
Yeah, you're like,
There's
wait.
2.
Yeah.
There's 2 that are like 4 or 5 months old.
All right.
Yeah, so
Putting
she
in work.
clearly, Kim was very happy to have Croy back to hang out with the kids, and you saw him on that little tiny scooter thing with the kids. That was awesome.
Yeah.
And then they showed our kicker Bryant at home with his kids too, throwing
And
the
more.
ball.
Yeah, playing catch. You'd think he would have kicked it to him.
I know, right? And yeah, of course, our boy Willie Moe with his little boy on the trampoline. That was adorable.
I think, too, I could be wrong, and if I'm wrong, I know you'll all put it in the comments that I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure he had on, like, a Moe something shirt. Like, he had on his own, like, not Moe
it said
but
Willie something, I think, didn't it?
No,
It
it
said
said
Moe.
Moe, but
Did it?
it was MOE.
M.O.E., so
it
it's
could
not
be.
him?
You never know.
But, like, does Willie Moe know? Like, he's had so many, we've had so many
Mo
fun,
knows.
like, stuff. So
Mo
if he
knows
has
Mo.
his own thing, I'll find out that answer.
He could rap a little bit, too.
But-
We saw him, like, 2
Yeah,
episodes
he's
ago.
one of my
Yeah.
faves.
Yeah.
Willie
Yeah.
Moe on the
He is.
trampoline, just hanging out.
He was balling, too. He
Yeah.
actually stepped up in the hole, made some stops. He's a player. That guy's a player.
Yeah.
I almost drafted him because we're in my fantasy league. We have 3 defensive players, and I was like so close to drafting him, but
I'm sure he'd like to know that you
I know.
passed on
I'm
him,
sorry.
Christina.
I'm sorry, Willie Mo. I mean,
He's gonna be pissed.
sorry.
He's not watching our show
so
next
sorry.
week. He's gonna leave a comment, an angry one.
Of course, no. I'm sure Willie Mo is a regular viewer of our show here, and if so, we love
That's what
you.
instead of watching tape, they watch us.
Yeah, he's like,
Right,
this is
right.
what I want to. This is what I want to spend my time on. AfterBuzz, Hard Knocks, of course.
Yeah.
So we had a little weather issues. Was it last episode where I was saying, you know, they should be used to the heat, and now we get torrential downpours and lightning.
Yeah.
That was pretty crazy.
The South, they tend to have those kind of like lightning storms.
Yeah.
Yeah,
that
but
are
it's
just kind of like
go ahead. They're
watch out.
they're like
Like a
watch
truck.
out, but they don't last all day.
Right.
You know what I mean? I went to
Yeah.
college in North Carolina, which is just above there, kind of. But we had these crazy storms. I mean, all of a sudden there was just water everywhere.
And it's still warm.
It's still hot.
Yeah.
Still nice
It's
and warm,
thunder,
yeah.
lightning, pouring, shit's blowing around, and then all of a sudden it's like, all right, cool, we're done.
Which is great practice weather if it's just raining.
Yeah.
I mean, it's fun to practice in that, but then once you get the lightning and thunder and then the lights going out in the building, it's
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then they
Well-
were driving around in metal golf carts.
Yeah,
pick
smart.
up stuff with lightning.
That wind was pretty strong though, because it was like
That was
blowing
blowing.
equipment around. You're like
all the
trash
rookies
cans.
running after the stuff to
Yeah,
get it.
exactly. Rookie hazing. Go clean
rookie
up.
hazing.
Go clean up and try to dodge the lightning.
Yeah, go drive this metal can around.
Yeah, right. And then on to practice the next day, or maybe later in the day. We don't really know because it was sunny. But they started focusing on Roddy, and he had a
Yeah.
great practice.
Yeah.
I think it was, I know, Jonathan Babineau. His brother Jordan Babineau is one of my friends. And so Jonathan called him out and was like, man, you're not even breaking a sweat. And then they start really
Right.
pushing Roddy, and he's amazing.
He still didn't
He's
look like he
the
broke a
way
sweat.
Yeah.
The way that he just
Still
Right.
effortless.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
You
It
don't
is.
see it till the end when his shirt is
Drenched.
completely drenched, but he makes it look so easy.
Yeah,
He
he
makes
just-
it look easy, and he's also like he's giving Bierman shit.
Yeah.
He's like keeping up the talk. Like he's talking the talk and walking the walk.
Yeah.
Which I think very few people can do. They like talk a bunch of shit, and
Is he
then
a
they
captain?
can't like. I don't think. I'm not sure.
But he does talk the talk.
But walk the walk. But a lot of people
yeah.
don't. But yeah.
And he's lighthearted too. I mean, as we see during the game, he's super duper like fun. And he's like, "You got that ball," and I was like, "Woo woo!"
Yeah.
You know, like he's super duper excitable and fun, and he stays in the game and he's serious when he needs to be serious,
Yeah.
but he's still got a good heart and fun guy, and you know,
just-
makes that camaraderie for everybody.
Totally. He just cuts on a dime, man. You know, makes
He
some of
does.
these guys look so bad.
Yeah, he runs some really good routes. I know they've got him on Madden, like gaining all kind of separation on the video game.
Oh yeah.
Because his route running is pretty dope. I mean, if you watch him, I haven't seen a whole lot of receivers run routes similar to how he runs routes. Some parts of him kind of remind me of Ocho Cinco a little bit, because he has, you know, he's fast, but to be able to like cut on a dime in those routes and have tremendous footwork, he has it. And he has hands.
Mm-hmm.
You know, this guy's catching. They showed him he dropped one ball, but I think he was so used to catching everything at that point. He was
Yeah.
off to the races. But he's a tremendous guy. He's gonna have some big plays this season, obviously.
Definitely. I mean, he played well in the game against the Titans. And our buddy Matt Ryan, who throws the ball to him, had a little interesting encounter in this episode. His Sports Illustrated cover shoot. I think he
Yes.
was a little embarrassed by it.
A little stiff.
Yeah.
A little awkward for him not to be in front of the camera and
Yeah.
posing and being pretty.
He's
and
a cutie. Come
He
on.
He is cute. I
love
would take him over Kaepernick any day. But
No, but it's not even that. It's just he's not too cool. He's not like, yeah, of course I'm going to be on the cover of Sports Illustrated. Like, look at me, I'm so cool.
He's a little
man.
bit of a nerd.
He's such a nerd.
Yeah.
He's a total nerd. He's like, yeah, I'm a quarterback, and I like to play with my team, and sometimes I yell at them, and most of the time I just stay even keel. You know what I mean? Like, he's a great guy.
Yeah.
I think
love
he's
him.
more of like a guy's guy.
Mm-hmm.
You know, him, you know, put your hand on your hip. You're like, I think he feels like, dude, I'm not a model. I'm a freaking
Yeah.
quarterback for an NFL
Put
team.
your chin down.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like all that. He's like, smile. It's like, what are you like? I felt like he was like just wanted to scream like, "Get me out of here!" Like, what is this? Like, it's cool that I'm on the cover of Sports Illustrated, but get me out of here.
Which is awesome, rather than our former quarterback Mark Sanchez, who was like, "Yo, I'm GQ, man."
I just read some article about Aaron Rodgers talking about that photo shoot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, brother.
Oof.
Anyway, so I did Google Roddy Wright captain while we were here, and nothing comes up. So I think the answer to that is no.
Okay.
Just so that we
I
can
was just
confirm.
curious.
But thanks.
He does act like one though.
Thanks for throwing me under the bus. It's all good.
I wasn't sure. I was
know,
asking. I don't know.
Thaddeus is trying to start some beef like Joe Brawley up in here.
Oh,
Oh, transition.
that
Nice. I
transition?
like it.
that was a good one.
Yeah, so they show us our boy, the center for the team, and we saw him week 1 of preseason fighting with Anton. Was it Anton Smith?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
The rookie. Oh,
Jacques
Smith.
Smith.
That's right. And saying, what, you're a rookie, like, why are you step into
Yeah.
me? And then they show him in the preseason or the scrimmage against the Titans when he got thrown out.
Yeah.
And saying that, his nickname is Joe Brawley because he, steps
He
up.
likes to brawl.
But then on the opposite side of that, they show him with his delicate ceramic making.
Pottery.
Yes.
I loved it.
It was great.
He said that this is his way to go with the flow and adjust, and like it adjusts, itself, and that's kind of what he needs to do on the field. And I love that like soft side. And
It takes a certain amount of letting go and being in the moment to be able to do that. I've done a lot of ceramics, and like to be especially a lot of guys, strong men, and no chauvinistic, no disrespect, but like, you know what I mean? Like, it's a very delicate thing to do. So for him to be so tough, it's kind of almost like how we saw Croy in the beginning, where we all were like, oh, his wife wears the pants, the first episode, and then when you see him on the field and he's like all Mr. Tough Guy, So it is that balance that it's really interesting to see.
But I'll be very surprised to see if he had a lot of holding calls. If this guy has, I'd be surprised if he has a lot of holding calls. Just to see him with his hands the way he does, and for him to harness that kind of energy, and to be the way he was.
So you're saying he will have a lot of penalties, or he will not?
I would be surprised if he did.
Oh, okay.
Because he
he can actually
hands.
he can he can.
soft hands.
No, I look at it more of like a Zen type of thing. Like he's like harnessing an energy, and you can control that, kind of like a Bruce Lee type of, feng shui-ish kind of.
Well, a lot of football players do yoga
or ballet.
Yeah, very.
Some do.
Okay,
Some do
maybe I
ballet.
shouldn't say a lot, but no, I know that they
more
do.
And more, yeah.
Yeah, some guys are getting.
A
lot of guys are.
I
into
know
it.
for a fact Sean Merriman does Bikram yoga, which I think would be the funniest thing to see because he's the biggest guy in the world. So, but
That's
I
hard,
think
too.
that's part of. I think
hard.
that you kind of have to have something, and they said that during that scene that these guys, you're playing such a rough, aggressive sport that you kind of need something to balance that out and calm you down and kind of bring you back to normal world where I'm not trying to kill someone on the field.
Like swimming with whale sharks.
Yeah.
Do we think that Devontae Freeman will be light on his feet then because he got a pedicure?
Oh, look at that transition.
Nice, Lyndsey.
Yes, I think Devontae really enjoyed
his
that
moment of zen. He loved it. He was all about it. He just didn't want color on it.
Right, at first
I guarantee give him a few times, and then I bet he puts color on it.
I don't know.
I bet lots of guys do. You see the guys doing the color on their feet nowadays.
I have not seen that ever.
That's
I
interesting.
think I'm pretty sure Croy did it.
Did he?
I'm pretty
Look at
sure.
his wife.
Yes.
Yeah. He was probably forced to do it.
Yeah, she was like, honey, you're going to put the hot pink on so that it matches mine.
He got a peel this last episode of Tardy for the Party or whatever it is.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Sorry, I watched that show.
Nice. So it's riveting television, that show.
surprised.
I mean,
I like seeing him with the kids. He's cute, super cute. That's why I like seeing him play on the field because he's such a different person.
Yeah.
Totally but even at home with the kids, he's the one that the kids listen to the most. He's strict.
Yeah.
He makes rules, and that's definitely something that you see translating to the field and being, a strong player there.
right. So they lost, like we said earlier, they lost to the Houston Texans last week. This week they're facing the Titans in their 4th preseason game. And guys, I mean, what did you think? First quarter, first half, when the first string was in, very pleasantly surprised by the play. The aggression and just the all out, like, everyone was giving 100%, I felt like, in that game. And it showed. And they scored right away.
How many more preseason games do they have?
Just
one.
Well, it's coming down to the wire. These guys have to try to, make the team, make the final roster. I don't know. We'll see what happens.
Right, but in the beginning, the first line, I don't know, man. I know we're not there yet, but I'm just going to go ahead, and we won't all go there, but I'm going to go ahead with a prediction that this Falcons team makes playoffs. That's it. Throwing it down. At least playoffs. The first quarter, the second quarter, they were insane.
Yeah, I agree. Matt Ryan said that they wanted to start fast, which they did. They came off, right away in that first quarter with the touchdown by Hester with that amazing slant route. Then you get the, Julio or Hester then starts off the next one getting, hitting the 45-yard line, 40-yard line with his return, which set up the touchdown for Julio Jones, which once again, great block by Harry Douglas.
Yeah.
But so they started fast, and I think if they have that first string in the whole game, they're going to continue that. When they have to bring the second string in and the guys aren't used to playing and stuff,
Well, the other team is playing their second string more than likely as well. It's all relative, but that's that's really just the opportunity for the guys to prove who if they want to make the team or not.
Yeah,
like,
that's
all that is. Yeah.
I think too, though, because we did mention it, I don't think we can just graze over Jones's catch, and he took 2 tackles off him. That was insane. He is back. That was his catch and run. That he's like, "Yo, I'm back. What's up?"
Yeah,
it was insane.
Yeah, it was nice.
Well, the defense played great too. They came off the line so quickly. There was a lot of blitzes, and we had just strong. The defense looked strong. Whereas, remember when Mike Smith said, I think it was in the first episode, when he's like, we have to prove everyone that everyone's saying the Falcons are soft. We have to prove them we're not soft. They did not look soft in that game. No, they played great. I think the problem that they really need to focus on the most, and granted, the officiating wasn't good in this game, but they had so many penalties called. And during that game, they gave out a stat: 2013 preseason penalties, 13.5. 2013 regular season, 12.2. 2014 preseason, 18.9.
Yikes.
I mean,
they had 10 penalties for 97 yards.
Yeah.
But the other team had 10 penalties for 102 yards. Titans had 10 penalties for 102 yards.
Right.
And so Mike Smith said, yes, this is obviously something that we need to work on. There's an issue with penalties. But he thinks it's also NFL-wide. Like, all the football teams are getting a lot of penalties. And it is preseason. So like Thaddeus said earlier, they're going to call more because it's preseason. So they're setting everything up.
Right.
All the pass interference calls and the holding stuff right away in the beginning. But I don't think that will continue for the rest of the season. I think it's going to go down.
What's interesting for me, and I don't know that we've touched on it all season yet with these preseason games, this new rule that with the replay you can actually call New York. Do you guys know about this? Have you heard about this? Have you heard about this? They could actually, if there's a challenge, they can call New York. There's like a guy that's just watching all the games to get like someone else's opinion if they can't figure it out. So they're definitely taking this penalty thing to like a higher standard all the way around. Yeah. And I think that the refs must be like told like this is what's happening, or maybe because it's the lawsuit where, you know what I mean, like there's something behind the scenes that we probably don't know about that's making these refs enforce these penalties, because they're even stumbling on the penalties. They're saying
they're calling the wrong numbers.
Yeah, even with Smith, when we see him get tossed out later in the game, they're like 44 penalty. I mean, they said 45 penalty, and then they said 44, you're thrown out of the game. Like, they're stumbling around. So something had to change for them too.
That the preseason players have preseason refs too.
Well, there's some refs that I've seen.
No, some of the refs, some of those refs are pro.
Yeah,
a lot of them are pro, but
it's
the same thing with the refs as well, just like the players. There's a lot of
some
refs
of those won't stick around.
They're just not veterans like some of the other guys, and they're getting opportunity to work out and work their
but the guy that was calling all of them is a guy that's a normal regular ref during the regular season. He's always there. I recognize him too. He's the one that was making all the he was officiating, calling out the players. Yeah.
Anyway,
we'll cut that there and move on to the team cuts. They down to 75 players now.
Right.
I think most notable out of those cuts was Jeff Matthews, the 4th string quarterback out of Cornell. He holds the record for passing passing yards at Cornell, which, I mean, I guess it's not really saying a lot. They're not necessarily known for football, but we saw him struggle throughout this whole preseason. He didn't really get a lot of reps. He didn't really get a lot of opportunities, and when he did, he struggled. And they showed it earlier tonight when Matt Ryan was saying, he can't get the cadence down, which to me, I don't know, Thaddeus, maybe you could correct me if I'm wrong, but that seems like one of the more easier things, aside from learning the playbook. That seems very difficult, but the cadence, I feel like
he just didn't
seems
seem like
something
he was
Every quarterback has
confident.
their own cadence.
right,
Yeah,
but if he's trying to
Every quarterback is his own quarterback. I mean, the cadence is his own cadence.
But didn't Matt Ryan say that he needs to do?
He said he was trying to imitate him.
Yeah, is that what they're supposed to do?
No,
that's what he made it seem like.
No, I think he meant in like how he was delivering it. Actually, how he was saying it, like ready to go, like how he was doing it was like sounding like he was sounding like Matt Ryan as opposed to just being himself and doing his own cadence.
He just wasn't taking charge. Like there was no authority in the way he was saying it, and I really think because they were saying like your technique is good, your skills are good, but you got to match it up.
And that followed through to when he got cut. Even Mike Smith said, well, he didn't really have much to say.
Yeah.
Some of the players want to talk about it and say, we're so proud to be playing for your team. And then other players are going to be more quiet and more humbled by it. I mean, every player is going to be different how it affects them.
I mean, think about that psychologically. This guy was what? He was a record breaker at Cornell. I mean, it's not...
It's not easy.
He played for... I mean, Cornell has actually done their thing here and there. So
yeah, I think they're okay.
Yeah, so for him to go somewhere and kind of get crapped on, not even... Like, in his mind, I'm sure he's like, I didn't even get a chance. I really didn't get a whole lot of reps. And I was the man where I just left. Like, and it's not like he played in the Poot Butt Conference either. Yeah. So it's like, what... this is like really like, okay, I'm getting let go. Can you even really make a real evaluation of my performance or my lack thereof?
Yeah, because he didn't play at all in the game against the Titans.
He was just like, okay, like why am I here kind of thing. It kind of sucks because it's like as a quarterback you don't get, it's not like he's going to run down on a kickoff and make a tackle. You don't get a whole lot of opportunity.
Yeah.
I think we even said it from the beginning, too. We always were saying, like, Yates versus Renfree. You know what I mean? Like, he was kind of just there. But
it's that missing T.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you had that other T,
I mean,
make the team.
So it's sad the roster is going to be cut even more. We're going to go from 75 to 53.
You got to.
You
got to.
We'll see.
Gotta cut them down. At least there'll be 2 more spots on the practice squad.
Yeah. We found that out today. Let's get into some predictions, shall we?
And now, your AFTERBUZZ TV predictions.
Everyone's looking at me, so I guess I'll start.
Stef Z, go.
I don't know, man. I predict that I hope that I see more out of Matthews. Not the one that just got cut.
Jake.
Double T.
Matthews. But I'm not impressed by him again. I'm a little disappointed in that guy.
Really?
Yeah. I mean, am I wrong? Am I alone?
No, I felt like he started off okay, but then he missed a big tackle that allowed for a sack.
Yeah.
So
and some penalties
he had a
against
holding
him
call
as well.
again. Yeah. I mean, I think honestly, it's just rookie. He's a rookie. He needs more reps. He needs more practice. But yeah, he does have to step it up if he's gonna expect to be a starter.
I don't think he'll get cut, but it's hard for me.
He definitely won't.
Yeah, it's hard for me. But I'm gonna just put I'm gonna put playoffs out there. Now we gotta look beyond this.
Yeah, that's
very, very far prediction.
Okay. So
we only got one time.
I want everybody to make a prediction on Starr and Smith because I don't think they're gonna keep both of these guys. They're gonna keep one or the other.
I think Smith they're gonna keep.
Smith keep, Starr cut.
That's your prediction on that too.
Yep. And I also think that I've clearly become a Devin Hester fan, even though I'm from Wisconsin and a Packer fan, so it's hard for me to like a Bear. But I do. And his high receptions were 57 in 2009, and I think he's going to beat that this year, even with Roddy White and Julio Jones getting plays and throws to. I think he's going to beat that this year with the Falcons, as well as his 19 returning touchdowns.
I mean, I can see that because he's definitely been a huge factor in their offense just in preseason.
It comes down to basically 4 receptions per game.
Yeah. So
I totally see that happening.
I think my prediction, I think Amsterdam is going to make the team, and I think he's going to end up surprising a lot of people. And he's not, he's not going to start, but I think he's going to. You don't agree with me?
I don't know. It's a good prediction.
I mean, he played.
I'll predict he plays in the NFL. I'm not sold. It's on the Falcons.
It's on the Falcons, right?
I would love him to make the Falcons
because their receiver core is so dope.
They got so many.
But they don't have anybody with his size, I don't think.
Yes.
I think he's the biggest guy
That's
that they would have.
That's the difference, yeah.
But when you got guys that run crazy routes and can make separation and break,
and are fast,
it's kind of like and are fast. I don't know. And I'm not sure. I'm the toss. I mean, I'm still leaning towards Smith, but with the star Smith, I'm not sure. I also think that if Freeman can learn to block proficiently, that change of pace between him and Jackson, he'll become the breakaway back.
Over Jaquiz Rogers? That's the number 1 back right now because Steven Jackson is still out. Quiz had a big game. He played well. He rushed for.
He played really well.
Yeah, he rushed for a lot of yards.
Well, we'll see.
I think they're going to keep Freeman. He's way too valuable.
No, they're going to keep
someone
him.
else is going
to keep him, but I don't think he'll start over Quiz.
No, I don't know if he'll start over him, but he could still be the one, like, because you have 2 backs that run 2 different kinds of style, and then it's you have the change of pace guy who comes in, and now the defensive's got acclimated to the first back, right? So then you bring in another back who runs completely different. Now the defense has to readjust to that style, and I think that Freeman has the style that he can leverage to be the breakaway guy, to have some big runs.
No, you're right there. That's
That's
good
what I mean by
analysis.
the breakaway back.
Thank you, Thaddeus, for
Yes.
that. Well, guys, we have 1 more episode left, unfortunately. I'm sad, but it's been fun. So stick with us next week, everyone.
I'm not sad. That means Monday Night Football is coming up soon, baby.
Yes, definitely. That's going to be fun. I'm Christina Kaplan. You can find me at Tina Cap.
I'm Thaddeus Massey. You can find me at Club Thaddeus on Twitter and Instagram, and you can also find me on GQJedi.com.
You guys can find me on Instagram and Twitter at Lyndsey Wegner, and my blog, lindseywegner.blogspot.com.
You guys can find me on Instagram and Twitter at I am Stef Z. I love you, Lyndsey. I do.
You gonna do a little shoulder?
You're like, yeah, Lyndsey, I have a blog. I have a blog.
Join us for the last episode, guys. And yes,
I'm wearing the shoes color right now.
We're gonna rise up and give you a great finale.
Yeah.
Or be like Brian Cox and rise up and recycle.
Yeah. Go green.
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.
Thank you for watching AfterBuzz TV on YouTube. For more of your favorite after shows and interviews, subscribe to our channel here, and be sure to share your opinion on the episode in the comment section below here. We'd love to see what you guys are buzzing about. Thanks again. Buzz you later.